Can you still make money with your no-budget indie feature film in 2025? The answer may surprise you. I'm here today to review and give you a tutorial on Filmhub, which is one of the easiest platforms to self-distribute your film. Filmhub has made a ton of changes since my last review. I felt that I've done a pretty good job of explaining this platform in the past, but this video will probably be my most thorough yet. Stick around to the end where I'll share my thoughts on the state of Filmhub, as well as some real numbers from my no-budget indie feature film, Cashing Out. Now, I've made, I think this is my third Filmhub tutorial at this point, and I'm hoping it's going to be one of my last. I hope that whenever I make another video, I'm just going to be able to reference this video and specifically because I'm going to get really in the weeds because I'm going to upload a film in real time and walk you through every single step. So if that's not something you're interested in and you're more looking for a summary, I would look for my 2024 Filmhub review, which you can find somewhere on the screen here or in the description. But if you are looking to walk through the entire process with me, I'm going to be doing that in this video. First, I want to explain what is Filmhub. Filmhub is a film distribution platform that acts as the middleman between you, the filmmaker, and the platforms. The platforms will not let you upload to their platform because, you know, they basically the entity in the middle, like Filmhub or a distributor, is basically like the QC master. Think of it like they're just the people who are filtering out all the crap people submit, so people aren't submitting, 90 minutes of cat videos or something like that. Not saying there's anything wrong with 90 minutes of cat videos, but that's obviously not what is traditionally a feature film. Basically, you have a shot on to get onto platforms like Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu because Filmhub will pitch your film to these platforms and they'll hopefully accept it for distribution. So why do you need the middle entity? Like I said, nearly every film and television platform helps to weed out, bad quality films. What's always been great about Filmhub is that at its base core, it's always been free to filmmakers, whereas other aggregators will charge hundreds of dollars to pitch onto a platform, and you're not even guaranteed to get on that platform. That's changed a little bit over the years, but like I said, at its most basic level, it is still free. Filmhub will pay you every month, but they will take a portion of those earnings, which is 80% to you, and then they keep the other 20%, which is probably the best deal in film distribution right now. There's another distribution platform called Indie Rights that does the same thing, although they're more of a traditional platform. I would like to do a video with them in the future. So if you've worked with Indie Rights in the past, I would love to interview you about your experience. So definitely hit me up. My email is in the comments. Or in the description rather. But yeah, I would love to talk to you. But like I said, most distributors will charge fees on the back end, which can make it impossible to see any money from your film. And Filmhub is relatively transparent on what the film brings in and which portion of the money actually goes to you. Now, since we're getting in the weeds here, I actually want to go over Filmhub's, they have a 6-step process and essentially how they work. So according to their website, we acquire your film for distribution. Once you submit your film, your movie or show for distribution, our in-house quality control team will thoroughly review your title, typically within 3 to 5 business days to verify make sure all the technical requirements have been met. They'll make sure, if you need to fix anything, blah, blah, blah. And then there's some resources on, how to distribute your film, which is what we're going to get into later. We pitch your titles. Once your title passes QC review, our licensing team immediately begins pitching to any channel where your title meets content requirements we know the channels are looking for. So we maximize your title's licensing potential. Ultimately, the licensing is up to each channel, but we advise them along the way. We secure licenses. When a channel licenses your title, we immediately process, package, and send out the deliverables, which is something you would upload to Filmhub. According to the channel's technical requirements, for each new license, you will be updated on the distribution updates section of the My Titles page, which is something I'll go over later. Channels releasing your titles to viewers after your title is licensed. Channels typically release it within 2 to 12 weeks. It can occasionally take longer depending on each channel's operation and programming strategies. Filmhub does not release notifications from channels, review the Finding Your Title section within each description for the Filmhub channel partners page. Basically, they're saying we're not going to update you when your title is actually live. You need to go find that yourself, that information yourself. Channels send performance data. Channels send performance data to Filmhub once viewership occurs. Refer to the performance column in the schedule in your account to understand when each title channel reports data performance. Please take a look at the performance article for more info. And then essentially you get paid after the title starts generating revenue. Filmhub will receive that money and basically pay it to you. So that's Filmhub and how they work in a nutshell. But let's go over some major changes. So in my last video, I noted a bunch of changes as far as their subscription model. Like I said, Filmhub is free at its most basic core, but they also offer a couple of subscription options, which I'll be happy to go over here shortly. But new changes include mainly their pricing model for the more premium services, as well as adding additional services such as their new closed caption feature. So basically, Filmhub is working towards being like a full in-house place where you can get everything done. So if all you have is your title or your film file and your trailer, you can basically tell them to do the rest as far as like creating closed captions, uploading the film, creating the artwork, the poster artwork, etc. That's what they're kind of working towards. Whereas back when I first uploaded to Filmhub, it was a little bit different in that I had to go out and find all of that information myself. But that's pretty cool if you are just not very technically savvy like I am, or, just other people are, they're starting to offer services to help you with that. I released my first feature film back in 2020. It was relatively easy. And like I said, I didn't have to pay for anything out of pocket. It was super straightforward and I was able to make changes that I needed. At the end of 2023, I had a few people who saw my initial walkthrough video and they reached out to me to get their help to upload their films onto Amazon and Filmhub. And then I quickly learned that Filmhub started charging a monthly fee, like I had talked about, for certain items, like being able to distribute to other platforms that they offer. So for an example, like I did Amazon Prime Video direct myself, and I also did Filmhub. Since they offer Amazon as a platform, you can no longer distribute to Amazon yourself since they offer that, at least not for free. You have to get onto one of their monthly premium services in order to block a channel such as Amazon so you can distribute to yourself. It was a bit frustrating to learn all this because I don't recall them ever explaining those changes. Filmhub sends out a lot of emails, so I assume possibly that they did at some point, but it's still frustrating, once I got into everything nonetheless. I mentioned earlier that Filmhub at its most basic form is free, and that still remains true as far as the recording of this video. However, I have to emphasize that you really want to get everything right the first time around as far as the QC process, which is why I'm going so in depth on this video. Otherwise, it may cost you a lot of money to change things later. They charge for things like title resubmissions, blocking channels, as I had mentioned, like being able to, distribute yourself onto Amazon, adding a release date, taking your film off of Filmhub, etc. We will get more into the pricing structure, like I had mentioned, but these are some of the changes I've noticed as of lately. Around a year ago, I noted that the premium subscription of Filmhub started at $50 a month. That changed to $100, I think, around January in the start, in 2024 at the beginning of the year. And I think I first reported that back in like November. So they doubled the price of that subscription, within a couple of months. And now they've actually changed it to $300 for a quarter. So they don't even offer the monthly rate anymore, or you can get an annual rate with a discount. That part has really been frustrating to learn because I've seen zero notifications about that because I've been paying a lot more attention to Filmhub and all the changes that they make. And I definitely dissect every single email that they send. So, it's really annoying. I'm a business owner and my day job is running someone else's business. I know it's important to make money and to grow, and people need to make a living and etc. Like, I understand that. I'm fully on board with that, but there's a way to do it, and being sneaky isn't exactly a good way of, conducting your business. To start, they do have a few different subscriptions based on your needs. And here's another change that I'm not really a fan of, and they can make this a little bit confusing because people have come to me and they're like, Filmhub is trying to charge me $300. The basic plan is still free. They don't tell you that there's a basic plan anymore, which is really, really freaking annoying because, like I said, people are freaking out and they think that Filmhub is going to try to charge them $300, but you can make an account and submit your film for free. I promise you. But they have Plus. So we have Distribution Plus here, which includes a prioritized QC process, channel blocking. So being able to say, hey, I don't want to distribute to these platforms. Otherwise, they're just going to, distribute to whatever platforms they can get on. But if you say, I don't want you to do Amazon, you have to pay $2.99 every 3 months in order to do that. You can do 5 title updates in a year, which is included. You can do 5 title redeliveries a year, which is included. They do 3 to 5 days support response time and performance ranking, which doesn't really explain what that is. And then they have their Distribution Pro, which is $5.99 quarterly every 3 months. Again, that includes prioritized QC review, channel blocking. You get a dedicated acquisitions manager, scheduled release dates. You get 20 title updates in a year included. And then you get 20 title redeliveries a year included, 25% off paid services discount, 1 to 2 day support response time, and performance ranking. So most of this cost seems to be going like, if you're going to have a lot of problems, it might be cheaper for you to do one of these subscriptions, but it doesn't make sense to do it indefinitely. So I highly recommend, if you're watching my channel, I assume that you're a no budget filmmaker. I'm a no budget filmmaker. That's, what my whole channel is about, trying to do things as cheaply as possible. So you're definitely going to want to start with the free plan. So you will go to Filmhub's website, which is filmhub.com. You're going to say, submit your film. You're going to create an account. And that's pretty much it. Before we get into the tutorial, I want to address something that I've never addressed in one of these videos. I'm going to show you how to upload your film to Filmhub successfully. If you do everything I say in this video and your film is of a decent quality, you will get onto these platforms. I can pretty much guarantee that with like 99.9% accuracy. If you do not get onto Filmhub, it is because you have some problem with your film or something you're not giving them that I go over in this video that, I can't help you with. So if you got really, really bad sound, if you got really, really bad picture, if the content doesn't follow, content guidelines, that's not something I can help you with. But, if your film is clean, if it's shot well, if it sounds decent, my film does not have the best audio. I can tell you that right now. And I still got on the QC. I still passed QC, and I see a lot of other filmmakers able to pass QC with some questionable problems. But like I said, if you do this, you should be able to get on Filmhub. But one thing I want to note specifically is that filmmakers think that getting distribution is some sort of golden ticket. Now, let me be clear about something. Getting distribution does not mean you're going to make any money. All right. These platforms will not market your film. You have to market your film. You're going against thousands of other films that are like yours on whatever platform that you're going to get on that likely have a bigger budget, likely have bigger movie stars. So you need to figure out a way to stand out and get people to watch. I have a lot of people who come to me and they're like, I really want to get onto Tubi because they hear people, even myself to some degree saying like, we make money on Tubi, or this filmmaker makes a ton of money on Tubi. There's no guarantee any platform is going to pick up your film. Like Filmhub does not guarantee that they're going to pick up or they're going to get you on any specific platform. Now, there's a high likelihood that if you follow everything I say in this video, you're going to get on a platform like Tubi. But just because you get on Tubi does not mean you're going to start making a ton of money. Like I said, you're competing against thousands of other films, and you need to market your film properly in order to get people to watch it. You should take the advice I give you in this video and other videos you may watch with a grain of salt. You should be finding other filmmakers who have done what you're looking to do, take all their advice, take the best things that fit to your situation specifically and resonate with you the most, and apply it to your situation. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who got really frustrated that he couldn't find any good information when I made my film, and I'm trying to give all that information back, to make your life a little bit easier. And it allows me to learn more too for when I make my next feature film. I've already went over the pricing plans with you guys a little bit. So now I want to briefly go over like what professional services they offer. So I'll have this linked in the description if you want to check it out, but they offer to create artwork for you for $325 per title. If you need to correct something, they offer to fix it for $95. They have captions for $4 a minute, which is absurdly high. You can do it at something like rev.com for like $1.50, I think. So, I mean, if, like I said, if you're looking to just keep this in one place, you're paying a convenience cost for sure. Basic fixes on your title are $95. Deep fixes are $150. Trailer creation they'll do for $75. Title services, large catalog import, they'll do for $99 per title. If you want a release date, that'll be about $1,000. Change in QC and deliverables. If you need to change something after it's already been submitted, you're going to have to pay them $350 per title, which is why I emphasize getting this right the first time and making absolutely no changes after that. If you need to redeliver a title for some reason, that's going to cost you $250. If you want to do a DVD service, they charge $700 a title. This is actually something they offered me, but I turned it down just because nobody buys DVDs as much, which hurts me. I did a physical release of my film, but I did that all myself. Title takedowns. If you want to remove your title, it's $99 a title. After 3 years of being on Filmhub, they won't charge you. And after 5 years, they won't charge you if you have like a large catalog. So try to keep your film up for at least 3 years. Movie asset package, they charge $400 a package for the main video file, trailer, and closed captions. So like I said, this is where they're starting to, group more services together to kind of be that all-in-one service for you. So if you need to create, your main title, trailer, and closed captions, they will do that for you for $400. And then they have the same thing for a TV show, but we're not going to focus on TV shows. With all that said, let's go ahead and put a film on Filmhub. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video with my past tutorials, I didn't actually input any actual information in creating a title. Today, I will be inputting all the information that you're going to need with exact examples. But first, you're going to need to create an account. So go to filmhub.com like I had mentioned. From there, you're going to want to, set up your account settings. I obviously have all my information blurred out, but you have your name, email address, phone number, and then you're also going to have to fill out tax information. So for an example, they ask for my PayPal email. So whatever my PayPal email is, my permanent resident address, and if I'm a U.S. person, non-U.S. person, et cetera, et cetera. So actually I don't want to clear this information, so never mind. So we're not going to do that, but just know that if you're in a different country, you're going to have to file as either a non-U.S. individual or non-U.S. entity. I can't really walk you through that because I'm in the United States. I'm not an expert there, so I can't really, I'm not comfortable giving you that information, but just know that you're going to have to, file as a different entity type. And then I have my business, what kind of, federal tax classification it is. And then you're going to sign date, blah, blah, blah. So then your taxes should be done from there. Filmhub actually walks you step by step on how to submit your title as far as deliverables, a step-by-step guide. common problems, closed caption issues, poster issues, and missing metadata. I'm going to go over all that stuff with you, but if you want to follow along, I'll have this link in the description. So for an example, we'll start with submitting a title, which I've gone through this in my, kind of less, in the weeds videos. So I'm not going to go over this time just because I've done this enough to know how to get started. So we're just going to go through step by step. We'll refer to this if there's something I'm confused about. But, like I said, if you want to follow along in what I'm talking about, the link in the description for what is this? How to submit your title for distribution, that'll be in the description. Before we actually go into uploading, I want to send a reminder of what kind of content that they accept. So for, let's see here. So they have a content policy, which I'll be sure to add in the description, but basically you're looking for like a narrative film, TV show, documentary, something like that. They don't allow something like a home movie. For an example, they don't allow music videos. They don't allow bonus features. So you really want to stick to just like narrative film and TV and documentaries as well. You can do short films as well, I believe. Let me see what they got here. So they do accept short films. It just needs to be longer than 2 minutes. But if you're confused about what you're able to upload, so I don't think you can upload things like concerts or like, like an exercise video or tutorial or something like that. Like it really needs to be like your standard kind of television show or film. So just keep that in mind. So let's actually get to uploading a title. So you're going to want to have your deliverables ready, which I have all my deliverables ready to go in a folder. So that way I can just, get started with this. But at its core, you're going to need your main movie file, which you're going to want the highest quality file possible. So preferably that's a ProRes 422 HQ. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a video linked somewhere on screen on how to export your film. Like I said, you're not going to want, some very small, like 3 to 10 gigabyte file for your film. You're going to want something a little more high quality. Now, I'm going to be uploading a very small file just for the sake of, uploading something quicker for this tutorial. So we're not sitting here all night. But for an example, my film Cashing Out was about 2 hours long, and a ProRes file for that was about 150 gigabytes. Now, it doesn't need to be that big, but like I said, try to export the highest quality possible because that's what Filmhub prefers. You're also going to want a trailer. If you don't have a trailer, they will make one for you. You're going to want your closed captions. If you don't have closed captions, I have a video link somewhere here on how to create those, or like I said, they will do it, or you can just go to rev.com and figure it out for yourself. And then you also have some artwork, your poster art that you're going to want to get made beforehand. Again, I have another video about this link somewhere here. You're definitely going to want to get that made, or Filmhub can create that for you for a fee. So let's actually get started. So once you log into Filmhub, this is your main screen. So all your titles are going to be right here. So I have a bunch of titles right here, and this is all the platforms. If you get picked up by a platform, this is where it's going to show up. And then you got your title here. You got whether if it's licensed or removed. So they kind of changed this over the years to different things, but now it's just licensed or removed. So like recently I got on Stash Crime TV. I don't know what that is, but I got on it. I was removed from Reveal. I got on the Roku channel, and then I'm on a few other places as well. So like some notable ones right now, let's see here, Apple TV. So that's available for purchase or rent on Apple. And then we also got Fandango at Home or Vudu. We got Stash Movies on YouTube. We got TCL. We got Tubi. So we got quite a few platforms. I haven't looked to see how many platforms there are that I'm actually licensed on right now, but there's only 7 like notable ones, if I counted correctly the last time I Googled it. So, that's where that information is going to be. And then over here on the left, you have your titles. You can look at the channels, which I can go over later. Performance, which I'll go over later. I'm going to go over all this later. So let's actually get into adding a title. So when you want to add a title, you're going to want to go to add movie or show. Now for this tutorial, I'm going to be adding a movie. A show I haven't done people ask me how to do things with the shows all the time. I don't know personally, but it's going to be pretty similar to a movie. So to upload a new title, like I had mentioned before, go to add movie, and then we're going to start from scratch. So the first thing we're met is with our video file. So like I said, I have a small video file, but I'm going to drag my video file literally, so I'm on Mac, so I dragging it from Finder. Now, why isn't it let me upload? Is it because it's an MPEG 4? Okay, so earlier I said I was going to actually upload my film, but it doesn't appear I can actually do that. So we're going to actually skip this step. I'm thinking they don't accept MPEG 4 or MP4s anymore. So I have like a low res H.264 file. So you're probably going to have to upload a ProRes HQ file or a .mov file. So I'm not going to do that right now to waste time. So let's go ahead and skip that. But I'm going to upload captions so you can see they have their create captions service here, which I'm just assuming is going to show up if my film file was here. But I'm going to go ahead and upload our own. So I upload in the .srt format. So if you watch my tutorial on how to create captions, I always upload in the .srt format. So I'm going to go ahead and upload here. You're going to select your language, which mine is English. And then you're going to select either subtitles, force, or SHD, or SDH. SDH, I forget exactly what it stands for, but basically it's your standard caption file. That's the one you're going to want to select. If you have additional languages, say you did like Spanish closed captions or something like that, you can absolutely do that. And then we're met with the chapters. So if you got chapters, which you should absolutely upload. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a tutorial somewhere here on chapters. But let's just say, for the sake of simplicity here, you know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and add a chapter. So I'm going to add a chapter, and I know with Filmhub, I can't add my first chapter until the first. My first chapter break until the first 5 minutes. So the first chapter actually has to start at 00000000. And my thumbnail, I don't know if I have to actually add a thumbnail, so I'm going to leave that alone. But if you wanted to add a thumbnail, let's just say that's 00000000. So that's just going to be black, and let's just say, so that one's chapter 1. We can name our chapter something different if we want to. Let's say chapter 2. And I need to, I'm not allowed to add a chapter until the first 5 minutes. So we're working in hours. I think this is hours, minutes, seconds, frames. So let's just say my first chapter is at, 5 minutes. Sorry, clicking other buttons right now. So let's just say it's at 5 minutes in like 12 frames. That's the exact chapter mark, and I can copy this onto my thumbnail too. And then I'm allowed to have a chapter, I think, every 8 to 10 minutes after that. So let's just say chapter 3 is at 0000. And let's just say it's at 15 minutes. Is that, yeah, so that's within 10 minutes. And let's just say it's at 13 frames. So like for an example, my film is shot in 24 frames per second. So the frames need to be less than 24. It can't be 24, because if it was 24, then this 10 right here would actually be an 11. Come on. An 11, and this would be, okay, this is trolling me right now. And that would actually be an 11. So let's just leave that how it is. Let's just say it's at the 11. That's the 11. Actually, I screwed up. I'm sitting here giving you guys bad information. 05, 5 minutes, maybe 1 second, and 12 frames. Now let's say, like I said, this was at 11 minutes and maybe 2 seconds and 14 frames. And then I can just copy this for my thumbnail if I really want to. So you're going to go through creating a chapter every 8 to 10 minutes until you hit the credits. I think they say it can't be in the last 5 minutes of the film, if I'm not mistaken. Again, go to the tutorial. I explain all this in detail. But let's just say I added my last chapter. My movie's about an hour and 56 minutes, if I remember correctly. So I think my last chapter is going to be at 1 hour. let's just say 45 minutes, 3 seconds, and 4 frames. We'll label that. Let's just say that's chapter 15. If your movie is, 60 minutes for an example, you're roughly going to be able to get 5 or 6 chapters in there depending on the scenes. So for the sake of, speeding things up, let's just pretend like, 1, 2, 3, and then there's, more chapters here to get to 15, but you get the basic idea here. If you're still confused, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to, assist where I can. And then at the bottom here, we have the trailer. So let's go ahead and upload our trailer. And this one will actually let us upload the H.264 file. They don't need as high quality of a file here, but we can go ahead, I think, and move on if I'm not mistaken. So we'll save our progress and then we'll move on to profile. So now we need to start adding in all of our metadata. So for an example, we're going to put our title, which my film was Cashing Out. I don't remember what my sales pitch was, so I probably should have prepared that before this video, but let me add my synopsis really quick. So I'm going to IMDb and looking at Cashing Out. And actually, I'm going to cheat a little bit and go to my previous listing to write my sales pitch. So I copied my one-liner from IMDb onto here, and then I'm actually going to look at whatever I wrote for my sales pitch for my actual film. But you're going to want to write a brief sales pitch to help sell your film. So I wrote, Cashing Out flips the gambling subgenre on its side, focusing on how a serious player turns against fellow gamblers to rob them of their cash. The Utah Film Festival and Awards called Cashing Out, smartly done, and offers a new and fresh concept on the crime drama film. So that's really nice. So you're going to want to write something. You only get 300 characters, 255 for your synopsis. So make sure you keep it brief. Don't, write the treatment for your entire movie, and just keep your sales pitch short and sweet. Short and sweet is always better. So let's go ahead and move on. We got our genres. So we click on it and you can see we're met with some genres. So mine is a crime drama. So I'm going to see how close I can relate to that. So we got crime. So that's good. We got drama. So I'm actually going to select crime because that's probably the most related. Let's see if I can add drama as well. So I can. So you can probably add as many genres as you want, but I don't know if there's a limit. So let's go ahead and just click on a bunch and see how many it lets us do. So you can add as many as you want, but just add the ones that make sense. So for me, it's a crime drama, so I'm just going to leave it as is. The original release date was January, I think. Let's see here. January, I think it was January 20th of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Not 100% for sure. You can add some keywords. These are all just like random keywords. I don't know if I actually use this, so you can skip it. But if you type in a keyword, so like Alfred Hitchcock, Christopher Nolan, like none of this really applies to me. So you can look and see what they got, and if there's something that's related. So let's see what we got here. I did say I was going to get in the weeds, so I'm going to look with you guys. Let's see here. Mood, maybe we can find something there. So it's kind of inspirational, so we'll add inspirational. Let's see here. Friendship, it's pretty good. What else we got? Betrayal theme, it's pretty good. Coming of age, pretty accurate. So I'm gonna leave that as is, but you can go through those on your own and see whatever they got and see if there's anything that relates to you. Keywords, just words that help Filmhub like figure out where to categorize your film. Essentially, like you're gonna have to do most of the heavy lifting because they're probably not gonna watch your film, and when they pitch it, they're gonna rely on you to enter all your metadata here to for the pitching. Now, you're not required to put the keywords in, so if you want to skip this, that's completely fine. You need to do other things with the red asterisks. So for countries of production, I shot mine in the United States, so I'm going to find that. If you want to put a filming location, so like I filmed mine in Indiana. So they got a few here. If you want to create that, that's fine. I'm just going to put Indiana, USA for the sake of filling this out. And then you have your cast. So I'm not going to fill all of these out, but like Tyler Mills is my first one. And because I entered him before, he's going to pop up here. And he plays, man, I'm forgetting the freaking main character of my film. Alan, how did I forget? It's a play on poker, All In. How did I forget that? But you're going to want to add like your top bill actors. Like, you know, if you got certain contracts, they may have this written in, or if you just want to help your actors out, I would stick to no more than like 5 to 10 if possible. But that's completely up to you. I mean, you could do your top 3. Most likely, if it's going to get listed on a platform, it's only going to have the top 3 anyway that you put in. So like I got Michaela. Let's see if she just pops up. Yeah, so there's Michaela, and then we got Tremont. Yeah, there's Tremont. And then we got Jax. And then we got Robbie. So we're just gonna leave it to our top 3 for now. You're gonna want to add yourself as the director if you are the director or whoever the director is. I'm a little offended that I have to create myself because I've submitted through Filmhub twice. So what the heck? And then I was also the only producer on the film. So add your producers. I think you can add multiple if you want. I was also the writer. So let's see if I pop up. So why did I pop up on writers but not produce? Oh, I spelled my name wrong. That's why. Jeez Louise. There I am. And I didn't have any composers, so I'm going to leave that one blank. So let's save our progress and keep going. So now on the listing, we need to list, you know, we need to rate our film as accurately as possible. So if you made like a family-friendly movie, you can select all audiences, but be realistic about what's in your film. So for an example, I have some naughty language in my movie. I have some violence. I don't have any drugs. I don't have any sex. I don't have any nudity. And I don't have any flashing lights. If you have an official rating, you can go ahead and rate it. My film is not rated. I'm curious if they have a not rated. Because with the success of Terrifier 3, I'm curious if they have like a rating for not rated. I don't think so. Let's see, unrated. So no, but this isn't required, so I wouldn't worry about it. Discovery. Let's go ahead and add some tags. So this is where I'm going to cheat. So I guess I'm probably not going to compare the film so much. But I'm going to go ahead. Let's see here. Add whatever tags would make sense for your film. So crime. And then I did poker because it's a movie about poker. Drama. Again, this is to help Filmhub figure out, you know, what your film is about. Texas Hold'em. It's about gambling. Casino. They don't go to a casino, but, you know, casino, gambling kind of go hand in hand. Robbery. It's a father and son story. So I put father and son relationship. That sounds great. Money. You know, just put as many of these as you can. You don't go too crazy. Like I have to do this for YouTube as well to help YouTube figure out what, you know, my videos are about. So pick like maybe 10 to 20 that make the most sense, and, you know, that should be good enough. If you want to add a festival, so for an example, I have World Fest, Houston World Fest. Yeah, so that's what I did, and I won. What did I win? Let me look. Special Jury Remy. That's that thing behind me. Remy. So I'm just going to put special, what does it say? Special Jury Remy Award. And then for first feature. Which ask me about that experience if you guys are curious. If you have a link, I don't have a link for my film anymore. I stopped paying for the website. But like for an example, I at one point had cashingout.com. So this is going to give me an error. But you know, if you have a website, go ahead and add that. If you have other links you want to add, you could absolutely do that. I think you need an IMDb link, so I would actually no, it's not asterisk, but I'm gonna go ahead and add my IMDb link. I need to make a video on how to add a title to IMDb. I'm sorry I haven't done that, but I'm gonna go ahead and add my IMDb link. If you have one, cool. If not the end of the world. TMDB, the movie database. I also created one of these because I wanted to get my movie on Letterboxd. So if you want to get your movie on Letterboxd, go to TMDB. Both of these you can add yourself. Like you don't have to do anything crazy there. Like you don't have to pay or anything like that. It's kind of a pain in the butt to add them. So I think that's why a lot of people don't. But I highly recommend doing that. It just helps add the legitimacy of your film. Vendor ID, I think this is something if you have it, if you have like a large catalog or something like that, we're going to skip this. Production company, this trips people out a lot. So like I have a production company right now. So I'm going to put AWS Films. Now, if you don't have a production company, like a legitimate production company, it's fine. Just make something up. Put your name down. They're not going to fact check it. They just need something to tell, you know, the platforms. So like, it'll say like, who put out this movie? Alex Shrednose like Films put out this movie, or AWS Films. You know, like I said, it's fine if you don't have a legitimate production company. Checkmark if it is in the public domain. My film is not. And then if you have any special notes about anything in particular, I don't have anything, so I'm just going to leave that alone. So now we're going to move on to the artwork, which again, I have a video about this that is linked somewhere. It'll either pop up on screen or in the description, so make sure you check that out. I'm not going to go over how to do this. I'm just going to show you how to upload it. So if you want to learn how to actually create your artwork, make sure you watch this video. Or watch that video rather. So I made artwork for all these different sizes. So we're going to go ahead and upload our 2x3. So I have a 2x3 listed. So that'll go there. Oh, come on. Did I make smaller files and now it's going to give me trouble? So I actually am skipping uploading the artwork. I apologize. But I didn't have the right artwork ready to go before I started shooting. So that's a little embarrassing, but I still want to keep this video chugging along. But follow the artwork instructions like I had mentioned, because like I uploaded the wrong file. So I didn't want to misguide you. But as you can see here, all my artwork looks the same on my actual cashing out listing. So I did all of them except for this one for some reason. I don't know why, but you know, I think because I didn't really have any, you know, my poster art was designed to be around the text on the title, and actually uploaded a few other images as well. But in actuality, you only have to upload the ones that they require, which I believe, let's go back to our title. It doesn't actually say which ones you need, but I would upload all of them just because they're so simple to make. There's really no reason not to. So, you know, going back to this right here, you can see all of them look the same. They're just all in different sizes. So just make sure you keep that in mind. So let's go back to our next spot. So let's just say all the artwork is here. We click save, and now we're going to go to avails. So now, you know, the simplest form of this is you're just going to leave everything, you know, just ad supported subscription. If you don't want to be on some of these platforms, you know, if you don't, for some reason, you really don't want to be on AVOD platforms, you can take out ad supported. If you really don't want to be on subscription, you can take that out. If you don't want to be on transactional, you can take that out if you want. So let's take that out. Let's see if we can add it back in. Yep. I would keep worldwide the same unless you are working with, you know, somebody like if you've sold off your rights to different territories. So let's say for an example, like, you know, you have like US distribution or North American rights, you know, then you would have to start playing around with this a little bit more. So like picking or taking out countries, taking out continents, et cetera, et cetera. I'm assuming that you don't have anything wonky going on like that. So I'm for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to keep it at worldwide and with all the different licensing types, because I assume that you don't have anything going on like that and you're like me, making no budget features, doing everything in its most basic forms. So if that is you, keep everything, like I said, keep the subscription up, keep transactional up. Subscription is, like Netflix, for an example, they use the subscription model. So they they pay based on number of subscriptions that they have. Transactional is like, going to your, this is dating me a little bit, but going to like your movie store, your video rental store where you buy and rent films. But now you do that online. So like Amazon, for an example, you can buy or rent a film. That would be transactional. And then ad supported would be something like Tubi, where they're paying you a CPM based on, the amount of ads that were watched during your film. You could put a start time and an end time on here, but honestly, I'm going to tell you right now that none of that matters. So I would just leave that as it is. If you wanted to block channels, this would be the place to do it, but you have to upgrade to that $2.99 every quarter plan, like I had mentioned, so we're not going to be able to do that. So honestly, once you get to avails, there's really nothing that you need to be doing. And then lastly, if you save, sorry, I actually have to save my progress first. So let's go to documents, and now we're going to upload some extra documents that we have. So some things that they suggest are store clearances, EPKs, which are electronic press kits, and other legal or marketing materials. So let's say you have some paperwork or something like that. This would be the place to upload it. You could do absolutely nothing here if you'd like. If you just have the press kit, you could do that here. If you had contracts, you could do that here. If you have music licensing, you can put that here. The one that people ask me the most about is the music cue sheet. I'm going to emphasize that you don't have to have a music cue sheet, but if you created one and you want to upload it, or if you want to learn how to create one, I got a video somewhere linked here or in the description on how to do that. But this would be the place for you to upload it. But let's just say you don't have anything. It's completely fine too. And then you should be able to move on. Once you are done, Filmhub is going to, and you hit submit, it will tell you, so we're not ready for submission yet. So we need to address like what we're not actually, or what we don't actually have. So it's annoying that on the artwork, it doesn't like have an asterisk on what they actually need. But if you go to what's missing, we need the 3x4. So this one right here. So let me see if I actually have my 3x4 in the correct format. So I'm going to upload this file. So this is not the correct, again, like I don't have the right, apparently I just don't have the right files. So we're going to leave that alone, but I need the 3x4 artwork. I need the 2x3 artwork, and I need the 16:9 artwork. So you are required, it looks like just this top row here is what is the artwork that you need. So again, if you need to know how to do that, I got a video linked in the description on how to do that. But all this stuff down here, you don't necessarily need. I recommend doing it. If you're creating the top three up here, the rest of these should be pretty easy to create. What else do we need? We need to upload a main video title. Like I said, I didn't have the correct video title for this tutorial like I thought I did. So, because they made more changes. You used to be able to upload an H.264 file, but apparently that's changed. So I don't have that. We're processing your main video, which I think that's actually the trailer. So let's go back to our video page. Okay, so now I got the trailer on here. We need to select a language. So where's English? English, United States. So that's good. Let's go ahead and save. That should clear that out. Yeah, the main title, language. So we don't have the main title uploaded right now. So we're not going to, I'll actually show you another title here real quick. So I did upload one. This was the original title I was going to use. So I did upload my title here. So as you can see here, I got the .mov, and then we'll select our language here. So, follow along with me. This is just for the sake of, showing you how you would clear that out, but that's how that's going to show up. Let's go back to the titles, caching out, edits, and then what's missing. So that's pretty much it. So once all of these are cleared out, like let's say I had my artwork uploaded. Let's say that, I uploaded my language and the artwork and the video file, this submit button should be ready to go. So then you would submit your film. They would go through the QC process. If there's anything missing or if there's a problem, then that's where that is going to show up. Now, there are some common QC problems, which I'm going to find my link here really quick so we can go over those. So some common QC errors: if you don't provide a trailer, if your video is overcompressed. So if the video is overcompressed, this is the most common one people ask me about, because they'll rip their video off, they'll upload to YouTube or something like that, or they will export in the smallest video file possible. I mentioned this in my export video for the deliverables. If you don't have a lot of money, hard drives are fairly cheap right now. So, like my 2-hour movie was about 150 gigabytes. You can get like a 500 gigabyte or a terabyte hard drive for like $50 right now. If you're making a film, like I'm trying to do things as cheap as possible. I understand people don't have a lot of money, but that is something you're going to want to invest in. Just get a very cheap hard drive and export the highest quality film possible. You're not going to want to take like I said, if you export your H.264 file into a .mov ProRes file, like if your video looks overcompressed, it's going to look overcompressed in your ProRes file. Like that's not going to fix that, and you're still going to get the same error. So like I said, you want to go back to your original movie files, your original timelines. You got all your cuts, you got all your sound effects added in, you got all your music, you got all your graphics and all that. Go back to that and export a ProRes 422 HQ master file, and that's what you're going to want to upload. If your video contains 2 seconds of pre-roll or post-roll, this is something I talk about in the export video as well. But you need to have no more than 2 seconds of black at the beginning and at the head and the tail of your film. So make sure you don't have like 10 seconds of black before anything pops up on the screen. You can have no more than 2 seconds at the beginning and the end. If your video or if your movie contains URLs or promos, you can't have, like on your trailer, you can't direct people to a Facebook page, a website, or anything like that. Same thing with your film. They say, yes, that means no URLs to your titles, website, or production company. Now this gets a little funky with like Artlist, because Artlist, like they're technically artlist.io, I think, but you can, just do your best. Just list them as like, whatever their company is, even if their company is like technically like a website name or something like that. So like Artlist is where I get all my music for the film. So I would just put, music licensed from Artlist and kind of just be done with it. Text tracks. Your text tracks are out of sync. So this is talking about your closed captions, subtitles, etc. Make sure that all that is synced, and that's something you can easily do with a QC before you actually upload to Filmhub. So I actually go over that in my closed caption video. So make sure you check that out if you don't know what I'm talking about. Metadata. If you don't have a sales pitch, many content owners forget to write sales pitches. With Filmhub, you are the one responsible for pitching your film. Our algorithms promote you to the right channel, but the quality of your title and your sales pitch will ultimately be responsible for how your title gets selected. So like I said, you want to enter as much of this metadata as possible, because again, like they emphasize, you're the one pitching your film at the end of the day. So you need to make this as easy as possible for the platforms to say yes. The artwork, I go over the artwork common problems in my artwork videos, so make sure you check that out. But some common problems, just for the sake of, letting you know up front, like you can see here on screen, like there's some goofy formatting on here. So like for some reason, this poster has like just 2 images. It doesn't look really professional. This one is really hard to see, but they have the film festival laurels on the side here. You can't have any laurels or anything like that. So just leave that alone. And you also can't have down here, you can see I have a little tagline or credits or something. You can't have that. The correct version would be to have just the title of your film and just whatever the image is, and make sure they look professional. You also want to make sure that, your content is in the safe zone. So like the pink right here would not be the safe zone. So like your text, you don't want that in the pink or anything like that. And then you also don't want to do any weird stretching. You can't put like, your tall poster in a 16:9 frame to try to get away with that. Like, all of your formatting needs to be the same. So like right here, you can see like all of my formatting on the poster is unique to that size. So I didn't do anything goofy there, but those are the most common QC problems. I see people have a few other problems that I'm not going to get into because quite frankly, I don't remember them all, because these are the most common. If you have some other problem, let me know in the comments, or feel free to shoot me an email and I'll try to direct you as best as possible. But honestly, like, aside from these things, because these are the easiest things that I'm able to help you with, because I can have answers for you. Any other like weirdo problems, like if you have something I didn't talk about in this video, for an example, you're likely going to have to contact Filmhub about that. I more than likely won't have an answer to it. You can reach out to me if you'd like, but more than likely I'm going to tell you to go to Filmhub. So I would try that first. And if they don't reach out to you, try reaching out to me, and I'll try to direct you as best as possible. So that's how you upload your film. But now I want to go over a couple other parts of the website so just you can get familiar with it. So my titles will be your homepage. This channels right here will be a list of all the different platforms that they have a relationship with. Now, this is not necessarily the platforms you're going to get on, but these are all the platforms that you have a chance of getting on. So scroll through, you can see which ones you can get excited about. So if I clicked on this one for an example, it'll tell you like, what kind of deals that they do, resources, so they do AVOD, what kind of content they accept, the duration requirements, where they're at, et cetera, et cetera. They have a whole list of these things. And then you have your performance, which is the money section. So you can see like how much money your film has made. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more here shortly. You have your statements. So this is just your payouts. So this is just a list of all the payouts of when the platforms have paid you for your film. So like, for an example, on 10/10 of 2024, Zumo paid cashing out, looks like $1.36. So I made $1.36 for that period on Filmhub. Then you have your transfer. They use PayPal. So this is the way to do that. So if I had some earnings here, it would pop up, but unfortunately I don't have any at this time. They have the schedule of when the platforms pay out. So most of the platforms pay out quarterly. Sometimes they'll pay out a little bit more frequently. But right now, like, a common question that I get from people is, when am I going to start seeing money? So you technically see money every month, but you're not going to start seeing money until it starts making money. And that can take several months. So let's say, for an example, you uploaded your film in January. Well, you may not start seeing money until like July, for an example, depending on the platforms. But once you do start getting paid, then you'll start getting paid every month after that. Now, every platform is different on when they pay, but if Filmhub does have money, they will pay you out about every 30 days or so. And then if you need help, you can hit help and it'll bring you to the help section. But that's pretty much all the basics of Filmhub. It's a pretty simple place to upload your film. The website's really easy to operate. But now that the tutorial's done, let's get into a big question here on whether or not you should actually upload your film to Filmhub. So this is going to be my opinion on whether or not you should do that. My answer isn't going to be much different from my last tutorial video. I think Filmhub is still the go-to platform for no budget indie filmmakers like myself up to a certain budget level. We don't have a lot of great options for distribution. I love that my little film is on platforms like Tubi, Amazon, Apple, Vudu, etc. There's no way I'd be able to do that on my own, let alone without having any sort of upfront costs or anything like that. However, I will say that this is the best option. This is only the best option if you're willing to do all of your streaming platforms in one place on Filmhub. Now, this could still be the best option with all of their fees included, but I can't tell you if that's the best option because I've never personally used it. So right now, my opinion on everything is just based on the free version of all of this. And I want to say too that my opinion can change drastically here within the next couple of months, because I'm filming this currently in October and I don't plan for this to come out until December. So Filmhub can do something really stupid between now and then, and my opinion can change. So this is really at the date of this recording, which is the end of October currently. I hope they continue to be good to us little guys, but like I said, anything can change at this point, and they're willing to change things without actually notifying people, which can be a little frustrating. Before we sign out here, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of, like a heads up on like what you can expect to make. Now, this, I guess maybe what you can expect to make is not very accurate, but here's, a real life scenario of somebody who's making money on Filmhub. So in the performance tab, you can see I have a breakdown of all my earnings, and this is based on the last, looks like 12 months, it looks like. So I can actually, go further if I want to. So let's just say I'm going to go back to 2019 just because, I got on the platform, looks like March of 22, maybe February 22, March 22, somewhere around there. No, 20. Okay. So I don't know if I uploaded Cashing Out in 2020. I don't recall exactly when I uploaded Cashing Out, but it may have been because there's some earnings here. But you can see I've done pretty well. Like I did okay for a while. So this is about the point when I got on Tubi. So I think this was actually cashing out because I wasn't making very much. So you can see like $3 January of 2020, 22 cents August of 2020. And then it kind of spiked right here, which is when I got on Tubi. So I got in on the Tubi gold rush here for a second. So like April of 22, I made $61. And I think my best month here, November 23, I made $492. Now this is just the earnings that come in. That's not your 80% cut. So you need to do some math here. And this isn't always the exact numbers. So just keep that in mind. So this is more of an estimate more than anything else. But for an example, so far with Tubi, I've made $5,495, which is pretty decent considering that's like a third of my budget. Like my movie cost me a little over $15,000 to make. So a third of my money or a third of my movie was made back just from Tubi alone. But again, like I was mentioning before in the beginning of this video, as far as keeping your expectations real with these platforms, now you can see here, this Local Now, which I have no idea what this is, but that's my second biggest platform. And I've only made $29.90 on that platform. So I went from $5,500 to $30. And this is the lifetime of the movie. So keep that in mind. And then Popsy or Plex, I made about $25. Apple TV, I've made $16. Vudu, I've made $9. Zumo, I've made $8. Amazon, which I don't know why I'm on Amazon. I don't know how I'm money on Amazon because I'm not on Amazon on here. Actually, I think that's my short. So I made $6. Fearless, $5. You can see that that's a pretty drastic number. All of my money is riding on one platform. And here's another, not great reality. So I'm going to go back to the last year. So I was doing pretty well. And for some reason, there's going to be fluctuations, but after February of 2024, everything just started going down, dipping. And then once we got to August, I made $103 in June, and in August I made $10. September, $10. August so far, $5. Like, what the heck happened here? I have no idea. I guess something changed in Tubi's algorithm, which I know they're, trying to be like every other platform now and cater to the mainstream movies and less on the films like mine that made their platform from the beginning. But like I said, this is why you can't think that getting distribution is going to be your golden ticket. Like, I don't do any marketing on my film anymore. Like, all this was just people who just watched my movie, fortunately, which is super awesome. But, at some point, that money, that well's going to dry out. And unfortunately, it looks like that happened, which sucks because I think I had like $5,000 more to make and I would have broken even on my film. And I probably could have done that in 2 years, but now that doesn't seem to be the case. So I either need to do some marketing or honestly, I'm probably not going to do that because I don't want to put any more money into this. If I wanted to give it a little push, I probably could. I may look for some more distribution options in the future. I don't know, but that's a reality that you guys need to account for. That does it for this video. I'd love to hear from all of you. Have you heard of better options? What's worked for you in the past? I'm in the process of interviewing filmmakers, so I want to hear from you so I could share the best information possible. Definitely let me know in the comments if you want to be interviewed. Definitely reach out to me. If you do want to use Filmhub, I do have a ton of videos. I'll have a playlist here of all the different tutorials that I've talked about, and as far as creating the deliverables and all that, and some of the most common questions that I get about Filmhub in general. So you can check those out, linked somewhere here. But until then, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.